What's up, H-Town? It's your dreadhead host, Hot Topic TV, and I appreciate y'all joining me on Everything H-Town Sports Debate Show. But what I wanted to come to you guys with today is, why is the national media types ripping the Houston Texans for spending too much? When the whole draft process, they were saying that the Houston Texans would be ludicrous for not taking a quarterback. I don't know. The national media are contradicting themselves and they flipping and flopping, and I'm not understanding what's going on. But today we gonna talk about that and chop it up, H-Town. So strap up your boots, get your listening ears ready, and let's go. Why is the national media ripping the Houston Texans? Just the couple days after the draft, I hear a lot of the national media types saying, oh, the Texans spent too much. It was too much. They gave Arizona too much. They gave Arizona their own pick, and all these type of ludicrous scenarios that they are putting together about the win totals and everything else. The national media survives off of clicks and just a lot of drama and smoke, because at the end of the day, had it been the Philadelphia Eagles or one of these historic franchises that made this same exact move, they would not be ripping them the weekend after the draft. So I'm not understanding why they feel that the Houston Texans spent too much, because actually you got two players for that amount. It was a combo deal. Even head coach DeMeco Ryan said it himself, and he continues to stress that. So why is the national media ripping the Houston Texans? Because we're the Houston Texans. We've been down in the dumps, and it's just someone to rip on. Oh, it was too much. Why was it too much? You went and got your guy. The Houston Texans decided to take C.J. Stroud so that the price wouldn't be that amount if they tried to trade back up with Arizona to get a quarterback. Then you would be in a bidding war with all the other teams plus the two teams in the AFC South. That would have been a dumb move. It would have been ridiculous, and everybody would be bashing Nick Caserio if he didn't get the quarterback. But this draft was a combo package. The Houston Texans wanted both of these guys, and they got both of these guys. And they chose to take C.J. Stroud number 2, so the price can be the price. It wouldn't be ran up because you're in a bidding war. I don't understand the national media types. The only national media type that did say some good things that I heard about C.J. Stroud and about his processing, and that he believed that he can be successful in the NFL, is Peter King. And Peter King was speaking on his S2 test and talking about how C.J. Stroud can process and read defenses, because he did it on the biggest stage against the best defense in the nation, in Georgia. Check out this sound and let me know what you think.
In the NFL unless you score well on this test. And I don't know about you. I don't watch a lot of college football, but anybody who watched the Georgia game in the college playoffs, anybody would say that if you say that this guy, CJ Stroud, can't process information or whatever, I'd call you crazy. He was phenomenal. 348 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, scored 41. Ohio State scored 41 points. And you don't do that. You don't do that against the best defense in college football if you're a schmo who's slow and can't process it.
I have to say I agree with Peter King. I believe C.J. Stroud can read defenses. He can make the right reads, the right checks, whatever's needed from a quarterback. He still has to prove that in the NFL, but at the same time, the tape is the tape, just as C.J. Stroud stressed. The real people who watches the tape know what he can do in process. Everybody is not test takers, even though the 18th percentile was low, but sometimes people just freeze. Sometimes people have brain farts. Sometimes people are just not good test takers. But he did stress that he was a 3.0 student in high school. He was a 3.0 student in college at Ohio State. So the guy is not an idiot. He's not dumb. He's not a buffoon by far. He can get out there and do what's needed from the quarterback, especially in this Kubiak-Shanistan system that Bobby Slowick plans to run. They took the guy and they said that he was the guy all along, just like DeMeco Ryan stressed on an ESPN interview or NFL Network interview, which one of those networks, I'm not too sure, but he did say it's two quarterbacks at the top that they liked. And 1A was Bryce Young, 1B was CJ Stroud, and they got one of the guys that they like. I'm not understanding this national media criticism for the Houston Texans only a couple days after applauding them about drafting the quarterback and Will Anderson. Those guys are young guys that come into a locker room that Nick Caserio has strengthened this roster via free agency and last year's draft class. So I love what they did even in the latter rounds. They grabbed some guys that's going to come in here and have that swarm mentality and work hard. I like I say, maybe I'm just a homer, but I also think and use my noggin and use my brain, and not just being a homer. I'm looking all over the national media after the draft, and everyone is loving it. Everyone is talking about it and hyping the Texans up, and then only to come on Monday, oh, I think the Texans spent too much. They spent too much to get Will Anderson, and that price is going to be tagged. And if they lose this amount of games and they end up being a high pick next year, and it end up in Caleb Williams or the quarterback from North Carolina, Drake May, dude, they grabbed the guy that they had conviction on and they took him. If they wouldn't have took a quarterback, everyone in the national media and all the Houston Texans fans will have a whole mouthful to say about Nick Caserio after this draft. But since he made a ballsy move and came up and got a quarterback and came up and got Will Anderson Jr., they were a combo package. It's just simple and plain. They're going to be tied to the hip, and that's what they done that deal for. They wanted to get both of their guys, and they spent what they needed to get both. And like I said, Nick Caserio, round of applause. Let the haters hate and just tone out the noise. And CJ Stroud, you go out there and do your thing. Will Anderson, you do your thing, and the rest will handle itself. Because these people in the national media, they just need clicks. They just need stories. But at the end of the day, the Houston Texans, Nick Caserio and DeMeco Ryans and Cal McNair and Hannah McNair did what they wanted to do and what they had to do. Like I said, if this was a franchise, they'll be Burger King because they had it their way and they did what they wanted. They got the burger and the supersized fries and drinks. So H-Town, be happy with what your general manager and your organization did to get these two players, these top 10 players, which was rated by everybody in the national media, and then they ripped the Texans for spending too much. So I don't understand it. It's kind of baffling, but at the same time, you know that the national media lives off of clicks and stories. So H-Town, continue to be happy about your players, and that's what it is. We happy about this draft. Even the players through day 2 and day 3, they filled some holes and they filled some needs. And it was a great thing. Even the undrafted free agents that they brought in, the running back, that was a good pickup to me. I mean, maybe a Arian Foster, I don't know. I'm just saying. But could he turn out to be one? You never know. It's a lot of undrafted free agents in day 2 and day 3 picks that end up better than day 1 picks. So I'm just saying the Houston Texans did a good job for what they needed. They filled a lot of holes. We still need a receiver, I believe, like the number 1 receiver. We do need that. But as far as a combo package and the 2 receivers that they brought in, they did a great job, man. They did a great job. They brought in 2 pass rushers. The guy from TCU, Horton, that was a good move as well. The linebacker from Alabama who played with Christian Harris and Will Anderson Jr., that was a good move as well. So I don't understand. It has me stuttering right now because we did a good job, and then here on Monday, Tuesday, and all these days after so far, they are claiming that the Texans spent too much. So the national media just they looking for clicks. The Houston Texans organization is just in a wait and see mode, and I pray that these moves pan out so they can just silence the critics. They need to be silenced. CJ Stroud, you get in there, take over this offense, learn, do what you have to do, run that Bobby Slowick offense to a T. And Will Anderson Jr., you get out there and get double-digit sacks, and the critics are silenced. Don't even give them an opportunity to bash us and everything like that. And the win totals have us at 5.5, which I believe it's going to be over, because I called it the day after the draft. I said an 8-win team. The strength of schedule was not too demanding. Anything can happen in the NFL. But if DeMeco Ryans play even a portion, even just say the 50%, 75% of what they did in San Francisco, this defense would be better. If he used Stingley like Stingley needs to be used, this defense would be better. We would have better linebackers. We have more team speed. And then we brought in a reliable pass catcher as a tight end from the Dallas Cowboys. They did some good things, and I'm loving what they did, H-Town. So be proud of your team, and don't let nobody steal our joy. H-Town, it's been real, and peace.